Hello again, welcome back to Illegally Sighted. I'm back for another low vision spotlight. This is BGFH, and the game I'm going to show you a little bit of today is one that I've been really seeing a lot of on Twitter, on gaming websites, on podcasts, just in general. And the game we're going to try to check out a little bit here today is called Gone Home. Little indie game that came out on Steam not too long ago, and I've played through it. It's a fairly short game, but I've played through it once already, and I definitely want to cover the game because there's a lot of little things I could talk about for this one. So let's pop right into it here. What this is it's a Gone Home it is first person, but it's definitely a story-based game. I would say in a similar style to like a Dear Esther that we looked at earlier on the channel, but I would say with a lot more gameplay, and I like this a lot better than Dear Esther. I just really like what it does a lot better. So let's do a new game here. Now the main menu, one of my problems from a low vision perspective here, one of the problems I have is that this game does make use of a lot of handwriting and interesting looking fonts. It's not all typed, and there's some large print, there's some small print, there's everything in between, and you'll see exactly kind of what I mean as we get into the game here. But you know, the main menu, the font is a little tough just because I'm not, a super fan of the font. But I'm going to do a new game here. And yeah, I'm going to start over. I don't care. So, pretty simple controls. We got our WASD for moving, traditional. And we have our moving our mouse to mouse look, and we have left mouse button will interact, right mouse button will zoom in and do other things. So we will get into it here. The story of this game takes place in 1995. We're going to get some audio here, so I'm going to shut up.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
All right. Gone Home. Now, that girl you heard on the answering machine there is our character that we are playing. We've come home after a trip around Europe, apparently. So, while we were gone, it turns out that our family has moved into a new house. And so it's like we're going home, but in a way it's all new. So, let's check it out here. So we're in our front porch of our house. We just got back. There's our luggage right there. And again, so what I can do is I can hold my right mouse button and zoom into my tag there. Okay. We're playing Caitlin right now, I guess. And one of the really cool things that it does do is that, most games, they'll model the environments and they'll model, a few objects and things, but this game has gone into like ridiculous amounts of detail, just using high-res textures for everything, because you can pick up almost anything, look at it, interact with it kind of thing, and it's really just pretty impressive, especially when you start to see some of the stuff. So let's go into our house here. Oh, we got a note. Here is our first instance of handwriting, and after I played the game a bit, I did a little bit of reading online, and apparently all of the handwriting in this game is actual handwriting, and I think they scanned it in or something like that. I don't. So none of this. The handwriting is a font or anything like that. It's actual handwriting, so it's a really nice touch. That said, this note isn't too bad because we got some nice clear printing. I can even read this okay. I'm not going to read it. Damn, that's loud. I'm going to turn down my in-game volume a little bit. I didn't realize the thunder would be quite so thunderous. But, so this is kind of the type of thing to expect, and I'll show you more examples of where I even have trouble as we get into the game. So, alrighty, we can't get in. So apparently our first goal here is to find the key that is more than likely hidden in this porch somewhere. So, pick up the glass. I can hold the right mouse button down and look at it. This really reminds me a lot of old adventure games. I remember playing some of the early PC adventure games, and the coolest thing was being able to, you know, pick up an object and like look at the front of it and the back of it and things like that. So nothing there, but we do have a little cabinet here. Turn the light on. Open this up. And what do we got here? Alright. Well, and oh, what do we have there? We have a key underneath the animal. So we'll shove you on the table. Pick up the key. And now we can open the doors into our huge mansion. So, yeah, apparently our family has moved into this ginormous mansion. And I gotta say, it's a really kind of a fun place to explore. And I also like exploring this just because what really prompted me to buy the game is, you know, like I said, I've been hearing a lot of different positive things on Twitter and podcasts, and people in the games press or industry seem to be talking about it a lot. And I saw the trailer and it looked interesting, but the other day I was just like, I want to play something different. I don't really feel like playing a 2D platformer or racing game. I wouldn't mind something first person, but I don't want to have to, you know, I just want to relax and, you know, take in a story or do something that's not shooting. And this one just really seemed to click. And I'm glad I did. So we've moved in. And the parents aren't home. And as we'll find out shortly, we actually have a little sister. Now here's another example. Now here we got actual handwriting. Now I can't zoom into this anymore. Some of these items I can just pick up and put back. So that I can read it, but it takes a while for me to do so, just because, like I said, cursive is a real pain for me to read. So here's a good example of, I played through the game and got what I could out of it. I read, you know, quite a few of the papers and stuff laying around, but some of the stuff is just really tough for me to read. So I think I will probably watch somebody do a full Let's Play, find somebody who does a good narration, and actually reads all of the documents that you encounter. So another thing about Gone Home is that, again, you can be this, you know, it's a short game, but you can really extend the length of it by just really looking at everything in the environment. I mean, I don't know why it's oddly satisfying just looking through all this stuff, you know, like picking up, well, you know, we had our little tissue box over there, we got our papers, going through people's drawer, you know, the drawers and the cabinets, and I don't know, just snooping around somebody's house. I don't know, just this weird compulsive thing to snoop. I don't know, I don't get it, but it is entertaining. Alright, so here we got a receipt for our moving company, I believe. Yep. So you get the idea, they've kind of moved in.
Dear Katie, so much has changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm in a new school. And my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real. But I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal. Just like I was talking to you.
Alright, so fair enough. So one of the gameplay elements to this is that as you're exploring and basically compulsively picking up and examining every item, certain objects will trigger these little sound clips of your little sister, Sam, reading her diary or journal. And so you're getting that's where you get the overall story. I mean, there's just a lot of... The interesting thing that I like is you have your main story about Sam that you learn by getting these audio files. And then you get the overall... You're walking into this house. You don't know who your family is because you're just, playing the game. But as you're exploring the mansion, their bedrooms, the living room, all that kind of stuff, you really get it's really cool because you get a picture of who these people were. And taking place in 1995, they actually have a lot of real life and great fake references in here, and you'll get to see that. I will show you some of that here in this video. So again, I'm snooping through their bathroom. We got some towels here. We got some stuff. I can crouch. Let's see. Okay, so I can pick that up, look at it. Great. Don't care. Alright, fair enough. Not too much interesting in the bathroom, but hey, whatever. I can explore it. And when I explored this the first time, I would mark where I've been just by leaving the lights on, so that way just kind of knew where we were. Yeah, I knew there's a light over here somewhere. Alright, anything interesting in here? Oops. No. Okay, that one I can only... Alright. I'm not going to explore every cupboard here, just because I think what I'll do is I'll show you a few... I'll get you a few story bits just to kind of get you more interested in it and show you some of the mechanics here. But,
Sam. Sam. Hello. Sam. Sam, where are you? Really? I need to talk to you. Please be there.
oh, okay, that clip actually makes more sense to me
I got
now.
my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight.
And there's our
But
clip
don't worry,
as
I'll
we
get a
started
shuttle
the
from the
game.
airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously,
Ah.
you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
So again, more handwritten notes. I'm not going to read that aloud. But this is where I start having trouble with the game. Like, when it's typed, or... I do wish they would make use of... it would have been really cool. Like, you'll get letters from family members or family friends. You'll get all kinds of documents and stuff. It would have been cool just to have, like, somebody narrating them. Like, if the letter was addressed to the person, your parents, or if it was Sam reading them, or, depending on who the messages or who the letters and stuff were for, that would have been kind of a cool touch. Just, because you don't really get to hear what the mom and dad sound like. But that would have been just kind of another neat touch and it would have definitely increased accessibility, of course, for us low vision folk. But, yeah, that one girl that was calling and asking for help. I definitely, now that I've played through the game, I definitely get that more now. Now I understand. And that one I'll just have to leave for you to figure out. So, let's see. Again, I really like how this house is modeled. It's really this old, like, creepy mansion, and just everything. I just really like it. So we got another typed thing here for first day of school. All that kind of stuff. You know, welcome to the new school, yada yada, yeah. Okay.
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class. And I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House girl. Great.
So, what I originally thought, which is kind of neat how they did it too, because I wasn't sure what the story was going to be for this game. You know, the parents aren't home, it's late at night, the parents aren't home, the sister's not home, and you start hearing, oh, we moved into this creepy house, and you get this newspaper clipping here of an obituary, and so you're like, is somebody being murdered, or is there some, like, is this like a horror game in disguise? And no, not at all, really. I don't really want to give away the story, but not at all where I thought it was going to go, but interesting nonetheless. So let's head into a couple more rooms here. I'm not sure how far I really want to play for this demo for you guys, but I do want to give you a glimpse at the game and a few of my early favorites and stuff. So I can turn the fan on. Like I said, just nice little interactions like this. I remember back in like the Half-Life and Duke Nukem 3D days where it's like, oh my god, you can like look at a mirror, you can turn a faucet on and off, or all these just little things, just the little interactivity blew me away back then, and it's just really funny. And it still does kind of get to me at some point, because you're wondering, it's like, can I interact with this or can I not? A lot of it is just graphical window dressing. It's like, well, yeah, you can look at it, but you really can't do anything. So we get a book on a JFK. The killing of JFK. All right. And here's an example of our first puzzle. There are a couple of occasional puzzles. Mainly it's finding these. There's I think 3 or 4 different times where you have to find a combination to something, like a locker or this file cabinet here. Things like that. Nothing too bad, although there was one that was a little bit tricky that took me a little while to find. And it seems, unfortunately, there are a couple that, you really do. Really helps if you can read some of those handwritten documents. So we're into our library, and I will give you a little clue as to where to find the first combination in the game. I don't remember if there's any item. Yeah, I think there is an item in here that triggers another diary entry. I think what I'll do is I'll show you this room, I'll show you the living room across the hall, and then I'll go upstairs and maybe show you a little bit of Sam's room and maybe just do a quick breeze through the upstairs. This place is pretty darn big, actually, so there's quite a bit to explore, and it's just fun to seeing what this mansion is like. Alright. Again, just the attention to detail and the clarity of objects as you look at them. Pretty impressive. Pretty cool. And here we go. More text. I'm not going to read. Actually, I'll do that a little bit more just so you can pause it and look at it if you wish. So again, like I said, the text is definitely worth reading. I have read a lot of this on my own, and I would definitely recommend either watching it on your own, playing it on your own, or if you can't, find somebody that you like that does a nice Let's Play and is able to read some of that aloud for you, because it does definitely add a lot to the story. So 0451. Pretty straightforward there. And that will actually get us our combination to that cabinet in the other room. However, I am not going to open said cabinet. I'll let you discover that on your own so we can go on and explore more of this cool mansion. Okay.
Flood conditions are expected at lower elevation.
Totally realistic, like emergency weather broadcast. Very cool. Such an annoying sound, but instantly recognizable. Here we get a nice fake pop brand or soda brand here. What do we got? Fizzy. Fizzy right. Probably a lemon lime sort of ish thing. Cool. Got a TV here. Got some hookups, some AV hookups for VCR or something. Whole bunch of VCR tapes. And this I thought was really fun. This is where I found exploring the game was just fun because...
You know
here
that
we go.
feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them, and you have to get to know them? Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior. She's usually dressed kind of punk, but sometimes I see her in this, army uniform. She's always drawing in this notebook, looking so intense. I had no idea how I would ever, have an excuse to talk to her. Till I noticed she and her friends hang out and play Street Fighter at the 7-Eleven every day after school.
Heck yeah, Street Fighter. Alright, so a little more story for you there. She meets this girl. And what I was going to say as that audio triggered was that this was one of the rooms that was really fun for me to explore. The whole living room area, because we'll get to it in a minute here, but just looking at a lot of these VHS tapes, and there's some pretty cool real life movies in here, and apparently they're not purchased tapes, they're just, oh yeah, we recorded them. Is there another light nearby that I can turn on? Actually, let me go turn on this one, and I'll play that in a minute briefly. But let's see, where was it? So what you find out too is that, oh yeah, so this again, pretty small print. Definitely have some trouble reading that. So low vision gamers might have a problem reading some of this text, and there's nothing I can do to make it larger. I just click on it. I can't move it around like some of the objects. That's what you get. So like this thing I can pick up when you hold it like that, I can hold the right mouse button and click it and more easily see the object and read things like that. And you find out her father is an author throughout the story here. But let's go over here and read some of these VHS tapes. Let's see what kind of movies they like. This is what's cool, is you just kind of get an idea of what do these people like to watch. Airplane Moonraker. Alright. I can get down with that. Ooh, that one's upside down. Beetlejuice and RoboCop. Hell yeah, I love RoboCop. That's a great movie. Cheesy, but awesome. I love the first RoboCop movie. What do we got here? Blade Runner. Alright. Nice. Director's cut. So apparently these guys are really into science fiction. Okay, we got a JFK movie. That ties into that book we saw in the other room there by the library. X-Files. Alright, big X-Files fans apparently. That's a show I wanted to like but never just really got into. I should give it another shot one of these days just to see if I do like it now. Fantastic Voyage. The Time Machine, I would presume. Cut off there by that other tape, and I can't move it. So like I said, this room was just really fun, just exploring, just to see what type of movies do these guys like. Can pick up our cassette here, look at it. All right. And there are a few tapes around the house that you will find throughout the game, and you will get to play them, and they will make more sense in the story as you play through. But I'll give you a little taste of this tape here. No labels there. Kind of interesting, like punk rock kind of guitar. I can't say that I like the singer all that much, but cool riffs on the guitar at least. Trying to remember if there was any other. We got some coasters. What we got here? Oh yeah, the TV guide, X-Files is circled. That was a cool touch. I thought that was kind of funny. And even just looking at some of these shows, seeing what 90s shows you recognize, that was kind of fun. Yeah, interesting beat, but yeah, I really can't. I don't like the singer. I hate to say it, but I just. Yeah, not a big fan of the singer of that band, sorry. Pizza. Aw, no pizza for me. How unfortunate. And there's a lot of things throughout the game, too, where, you really want to keep your eye out everywhere, because there could be stuff under cushions, there could be, just to give you a hint, I found one paper down the heating vent somewhere, but, just moving things out of the way and seeing where stuff is. So we're not going to go down that way anymore. Instead, before we wrap up this video, I'll head up and show you a little bit of upstairs. Oh, one thing I didn't bring up is that I can bring up my inventory, or I can bring up my map. So as I explore the house, it will show where I am. It will show what the rooms are as I start exploring them. So that's kind of cool. I never really used it though, admittedly. The inventory you will use occasionally. Like, you don't pick up a lot of items. It's not like a cryptic adventure game like an adventure game of old where it's like, okay, combine all these really crazy items in some way that you would never think of ever. It's just, occasionally you get a couple items that you have to use and figure out some stuff, but really not that bad. Alright, so let's continue upstairs. And over there, that door is locked, so I know that, so I'm not going to explore over there right now. We're just going to bypass this, although I will turn the light on. And here we go, another hall light here. Again, it's just really refreshing to be exploring a game where I'm not killing anything. I'm not like running from anything, you know, like Amnesia. I'm just exploring a cool, realistic, very realistic house. There's something, you know, in gaming, there's just something a little oddly refreshing about that. I got a kick out of this note here from her mom, basically saying, "Would you quit turning the damn lights on? Leaving the damn lights on? You're as bad as your sister." That's great. I thought that was pretty funny. Nice little radioactive sign on the door. Caution, radiation area, keep out. Nice younger sister there. But you know what? She's not home, so we're going to invade her room because that's what siblings do, is piss off the other sibling by going through all their stuff, right? So yeah, why not? Leaves her TV on. And we got to hook up. So here's another like, they have some real brands, you know, like the movies that you saw in the other room. Those were real, but they got some great like replica, or like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not parody, but like their own style. Like, these are supposed to be. You can obviously tell this is Super Nintendo. And that's pretty cool. Like, they actually mention Super Nintendo, but I think they can't put the actual Nintendo labels on it because, you know, obviously Nintendo's really anal about getting their, you know, putting their name out there on stuff. I mean, look at the Smash Brothers fiasco last month with the EVO tournament, things like that, just in their YouTube policies. So let's pop in one more tape here for a brief minute. Really, really like indie punk kind of thing. I always hated these things. I remember these were. Alright, you know what? You're loud. Again, not a bad, kind of a neat little riff, but I really can't stand your voice, so meh. And it's loud. But I remember in the 90s, these things were huge, and I could never understand, or I could never get to see what these weird holographic images were. I sucked at these. I don't know if I ever saw any of them. Maybe one or two. But just bringing back a lot of this, just seeing all this 90s nostalgia, you know, kind of neat. Again, let's check out what other Super Nintendo games she's got. Alright, cool. I wish they had a Super Nintendo under there, so you could like play little things or watch little demos or something of it. That'd be kind of cool. That is so great. And you see these kind of, you know, these off products that are in there. Like later on in the game, you get to the kitchen area. It's in behind that locked door, actually. And, you know, I see things that are like, oh man, there is one that was just, it was so definitely Hamburger Helper. I think it was like Hamburger Dinner. I'm like, yes, that is so perfect. Just the way they did that. I don't know why, but that was just cool. Let's see. I think if I can find one other thing, maybe that'll give us another diary entry. I think I know there should be something in this room that'll do it, but I can't remember what it is. But at any rate, like I said, this should give you an idea of what to expect. I mean, it's just a really relaxing game. Just play through it and get to know who these people were. Get to know the, what do we got here? Oh, cool, Kurt Cobain. Nice. I missed that but the first time. I missed that. I didn't notice that little thing between the bed there and this nightstand, or in the drawer there. Cool. But like I said, it's just kind of neat getting the whole story, and not what you'd expect, actually. Like I said, here's that locker that I said was a little bit tricky. You got to find another combination lock. But, yeah, I thought there was another thing that will trigger... Is it this? I don't remember. There was something else that would trigger a, cool. That would trigger another diary entry, but I may just have to end it here. But like I said, this gives you an idea of what this game, Gone Home, is like. I will say that if you are a low vision gamer trying to play this, you can play through it and probably get most of the main story beats pretty easily. There are a couple of cases where you will have to kind of find like reading a note or something to get a code or to get information on, oh yes, it's a creepy mansion, so of course, hint hint, there's going to be maybe a secret passage or two. Maybe. Just maybe. But, things like that. So, and the other thing is just read. There's a lot of reading because you find papers everywhere. You find, like, here's another one. And some of them are even, like, you pick them out of the garbage can or near a garbage can, and they're all crinkled, and so they're even harder to read. Again, really nice visual touches. But if you do have low vision, definitely can be an issue. So I will warn you right up front, like actually right here. I think this will trigger one. I think this will trigger one more diary entry. And then I think what we'll do is wrap it up here. And okay, maybe not. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, that will wrap it up here and give you guys a good idea of what this game is like. I would say this game took me 2-3 hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours total to go through completely. And that's just because, like I said, I just had fun just going, like, really OCD again, just going through every cupboard and seeing everything that I could to see, just to see how much detail was actually in the environment. I thought this was blood at first, but no, we're good. So again, playing into that whole, oh man, this is going to be a horror story and I'm going to find out my sister got murdered or something.
Lonnie brought her hair dye over today. She said, I need to fix these roots. Think you could help? Dyeing hair is weirdly intimate. I don't know if I've touched someone else's scalp before. It's pretty intimate, right? It felt intimate. We looked in the mirror together after, and I expected her to say something about how it looked crappy, or good, or whatever. But that's when she said, "You're so beautiful." And she was looking at me. Right in that moment, I wanted to say something, but I waited, and the moment was gone.
Alright, so, like I said, where does the story go? Yeah, well, you never know, but that should do it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this little look, and until next time, I will talk with you guys soon.